Yo, 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 what is going on, CoD Familia? It is your boy BN. Today, we are going to be going over the latest Q&A from the dev feedback drop. Number 14. This was released at around 10:30 UTC time in game for January 13th, or for me, 5:30 a.m. Eastern, which is nice because it's a couple hours before I wake up, and that's great timing for Misa. Charger Binksa. Okay, if you enjoy the content, make sure you throw us up because it helps out a lot. Here we go. Number 1, our opposing alliance has put a large number of alliance towers together, making it impossible for us to advance. Can you change the placement rules for alliance towers? Now, this has already been changed. Part of me feels like they included a question that was worded a little bit differently and or just worded as a question, so that way they could then point to the patch notes. We know this is already being changed. We know that you cannot build alliance territory on existing territory. So you can't build a flag on top of or within a flag's territory or another alliance building's territory. This, even though it's already been stated in the patch notes, listen, am I okay with them maybe referencing something or giving more of a reason? Part of me feels like that kind of is where the Q&As can maybe separate a little bit, where you can provide more detailed explanation, maybe more of a justification, maybe going into a couple points on feedback that was presented versus patch notes, which maybe you have to be a little bit more clear cut and dry, and maybe it's minimal explanations that you're able to provide. So this to me, I don't know, does it do anything for me? No, not really. But for people that maybe enjoy reading a question that relates to them more and then hearing that answer for the first time, sure. Even though, again, the patch notes are there to reach everyone because they're sent as a system mail versus dev feedback, which not everyone's going to read that because it's on the CoD Discord, and not every single player that plays the game is on the CoD Discord, and especially this one, which I guess is US based, though I would imagine they probably would post them on international Discords as well. Moving on and not diving too far into the tangent. Will you change the minimum guarantee for war pet regenerations? This has been suggested by a number of players. In 0.34, the war pet regeneration guarantee is now shared between all war pets rather than applying to a single war pet each time. Now, we did read this in the patch notes. However, the part that interests me is where they say shared and then single. And maybe I'm a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, but part of me feels like I did not read that particular language in the way that this was written. So, yeah, I mean, if so, okay, I guess that's nice to get a little bit more detail. Will you add a confirmation button when consuming war pets to quick upgrade war pet skills? Thanks for the suggestion. We've been thinking about ways to make war pet skill upgrade process more convenient and secure. Now, when you consume legendary war pets to upgrade a war pet skill, you will receive a confirmation prompt first. Part of me feels like they already added this, though, or they've already mentioned this about doing some legendary upgrades. Now, maybe it wasn't specifically to a war pet skill, but part of me recalls hearing them doing something about war pets when you're doing a legendary upgrade and you getting a confirmation prompt. However, this will help you avoid accidentally consuming high-quality war pets. I mean, that's true. If a player accepts a recovery voucher, can they still take part in KVK? When a player accepts a recovery voucher, they cannot participate in the next KVK season on that server. However, if they migrate, they will be able to take part in the KVK in their new realm. Okay, and this is nice. I mean, again, part of me feels like some of the questions they're asking are just more geared towards questions that you probably would hear the players ask. And so even if the answers have already been spoken to before, I do still feel there is some value because some people might read a question and say, well, man, that's exactly the situation I'm in. Right, this is great. And it also helps them because they don't have to read through an entire large portion of patch notes as well. So I mean, I kind of somewhat see it from that side. Next question. Will you add a specific chat channel for Roots of War? This actually, I think, is a great idea. A specific chat channel for Roots of War is currently planned, but we need a bit more time to design and develop. Thank you for your patience while we finalize this feature. Now, this is something new. I don't think they've mentioned anything about a specific Roots of War channel. And them considering adding this is great. I think this is a fantastic ad. Okay, next one we have here is, can you add a player search feature for Roots of War team management? I think they mentioned this already. We are planning to add a name search feature. They did mention this in the patch notes for Roots of War team management in a future update. Can you improve the matchmaking and rebalance the map for Roots of War? I'd like to see more opportunities for strategy. Also, will you add practice matches? So they have already mentioned the thing about practice matches. They have touched on KVK in the Hall of Kings Q&A number 2 that was released, where it was focused more on Roots of War, and they talked about strategy and map balance. Thank you for your suggestion. We have been actively gathering feedback and are now working on ways to optimize matchmaking and improve the map, as well as adding more interesting tactical abilities to make the game mode more feature-rich and enjoyable. We are also working on creating a league for Roots of War. Keep in mind, they've mentioned this a while back, and they've mentioned this a couple times already. This will also include the option for practice matches. Now, this is interesting because this is the first time they're stating that the Roots of War League specifically will include practice matches. This, to me, kind of updates somewhat of a, I don't even know if I want to call it a timeline, but just a release feature. Because before, in the Hall of Kings Q&A number 2, which you can also find here in the support area, in the dev feedback, right? This is it. Hall of Kings number 2, ROW. You can see here, they mentioned that they are going to be adding practice matches. However, what they did not mention was that it may be attached to the Roots of War League, meaning that it won't come until Roots of War League comes. So that is a new piece of information. Thank you for your patience while we figure this out. Again, nice to hear them mention their ROW League. Again, it would just be nice if they gave us a little bit more of, I don't even care if you tell us when it's coming out. Maybe just tell us where you are in its development. That would just be nice. Will you be improving rewards in PvE gameplay for the Brink of War event? We have received a lot of feedback regarding the Brink of War event. Having considered fairness and the player experience, we will be improving rewards for the PvE phase of Brink of War. See the event for more details once the changes come online. Okay. Always nice to get more rewards. We're also planning to add the ability to quickly search for ordinary and elite trolls on the map. Oh, interesting. This is new. Thank you for waiting while we finalize this feature. So, this is totally new. And this could be a major game change for that BOW stage. Because this has not been mentioned before. And this is nice to hear. If you're just going to allow a little bit more quality of life for searching during that event, I'm all for that. And then we have the last pieces here, which is, will you make it so Alliance mobilization quests are automatically refreshed if they have not been selected for 2 to 3 hours? Answer, thank you for your suggestion. Considering the differing circumstances and needs of different alliances, we are in the early phases of designing a new feature for Alliance mobilization. This feature would allow officers to enable automatic refreshment of quests that have not been selected for some time, depending on the circumstances of their alliance. The feature is still in the planning stage, and we will let you know as soon as more information becomes available. I mean, why can't they just say, like, where the ROW League is in their stage? I mean, they can do it for Alliance mobilization, right? I'm just saying. Just saying. However, we are also planning to allow players to automatically submit their requests once they complete. Ooh, that's nice. This should be added in the near future. Okay, so again, a little bit more quality of life. I'm all for that. Will you add a feature to allow multiple players to migrate together so they don't end up getting split? This could be the bee's knees of quality of life improvements. Can't wait to see what they say. Hopefully it's not negative. We received a number of suggestions regarding this issue and are planning on adding a multiplayer migration feature in the future. This feature is still in the design phase, so we thank you for... I mean, this is great. It makes sense when you think about you being able to have the beta preview if you are an alliance and you are selecting to migrate to a kingdom. You have that beta feature where you could select multiple people from your alliance and how that will change and impact the kingdom. At the same end, the king or queen should be able to see that as well, and you should be able to multi-select people that are applying to your kingdom. And by that, as always, and I'm going to reiterate this every time, every single player, regardless of power, needs to apply. It needs to have to be able to apply, where it is a requirement, and then the king or queen can accept them, and you can accept it's like a checkbox. You can accept one person, or you can multi-select people, and then you get the opportunity to see the migration preview for the incoming. However, being able to apply as a bulk and then have that be something the king or queen sees on their side when they go into the migration applications and they click on one and it says, this is the amount of players applying, this is where they're coming from, this is their estimated power, and then there's a drop down and it'll show you all the players there. And maybe it allows you to click on those players and view their profiles. That is something I would love to see them do, because that is just, we're getting into next level stuff here of kingdom management, and I'm all for that. And alliance management as well. These are so important when it comes to quality of life. So yeah, I think this could be my dark horse favorite Q&A out of all of them thus far. Last one, can you increase the chance of obtaining legendary heroes from daily deals? We understand that players want to obtain more legendary heroes. We are currently planning on making changes to daily deals while keeping in-game balance in mind. Okay, so maybe they will add more. Or do it on an interval base, whatever that may be. Okay, that's nice to hear. It at least seems as though they're open to it, and I'm sure people will be more excited about maybe having more legendary options in daily deals. Okay, that's it. Again, I will say this. Half of these questions, if not maybe a tiny bit more than half, were basically things that have already been addressed. However, the way the questions were asked can maybe appeal to some people. And then less than half of the questions and answers were actually new. So some of the stuff was new. And I am really happy to hear a number of them that do excite me. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Which one was your favorite? What do you think about them including certain Q&As that we've already got answers to, but do you like the way that maybe the question is worded because you feel as though it applies to you? And then, yeah, let me know your favorite one here. That's going to be it for me. As always, until next time, we'll catch you later.